Very shocked because like he was a very nice kid and he had a big heart and he didn't really deserve that.
Well, the people who knew that young man killed in yesterday's explosion are now speaking out, saying that he had a big heart and a bright future.
We know his name, but we're not releasing his name because the chief tells us that the teenager's family is still being notified. But what we can tell you is that he was 17 years old and a local high school student. His mother was also hurt in the explosion that happened in their kitchen. Chris Davis joining us this morning with more. Good morning, Chris.
Sally, just a few minutes ago, the ATF's National Response Team truck pulled up to the scene here. It's that white truck that you can see just up the block from where we are. And like the other two explosions that they're investigating here, they say that this one started on the front porch. Austin police tell us that someone in the family went outside, picked up what turned out to be a bomb, and brought it inside where it exploded. And now friends of the 17-year-old killed when that bomb went off are remembering him. They tell us he went to East Austin College Prep, just a few miles from here. A neighbor here told us yesterday he was a bright student and very involved in the community. He was a talented musician playing bass for his school's orchestra, and a conductor for the Austin Youth Orchestra says he played with them too.
I hope the person that they find out who the person is and justice is served, because they took his life away and he didn't even deserve that. He was going to go to college and he was going to graduate this year, and they just took his life like that.
Now, that friend also tells KXAN the teenager had already been accepted into several universities. We'll send it back to you.
All right, Chris, thank you very much. And the explosion that killed that 17-year-old was just the beginning yesterday.
Within a matter of a few hours, there was another explosion that police responded to. It happened on Galindo Street, and that's where we find Candy Rodriguez joining us live with the latest on that investigation. Good morning, Candy.
Sally, John, good morning. That injured a 75-year-old woman when she walked outside her house and discovered a package and it detonated. Now, we just heard Austin Police Interim Chief Brian Manley a little while ago speaking about her condition, which he says she is still in critical condition as of this morning. We should have more information on her later today. Again, her identity has not been released at this time. We are currently at the intersection of Galindo and Vargas Street, and you can take a look behind me here. Still, investigators are out here searching, trying to put the puzzle pieces together. What exactly happened here yesterday right before noon? There's still police tape lining the intersections between Galindo Street. I just spoke with a police officer who says if you live here, you're allowed to come back, but you will be escorted to your house and they will ask you for proof of your address. We spoke with a neighbor who says she's still in disbelief that this even happened to her neighbor, a sweet 75-year-old woman. She doesn't have anyone who would want to hurt her because she's a good person to everyone. Again, the woman's identity has not been released yet. Police reminding everyone to stay vigilant, and if you notice a suspicious package, you're asked to call them immediately. We're live this morning. Candy Rodriguez, KXAN News.
Well, Candy, thank you. Police have said they do not think the bombings are connected to South by Southwest, but still, the festival released a statement saying they were heartbroken for the victims and warned people to call police if you see anything suspicious. We also talked to a volunteer who told us the bombings are making her a little uneasy.
You know, especially with like the school shootings that happened recently, everyone's afraid, you know, whenever we're at school, and then now with these bombings, we're afraid, like, what if someone, you know, bombs here, especially there's a lot of people here right now.
Well, there's a reward from the governor to catch the bomber. Governor's office is offering $15,000 to anyone who gives information leading to the ID and hopefully the arrest of the suspect or suspects in the case. The governor says that he wants to assure Texans that local, state, and federal law enforcement officials are working together to find who is doing this. Go to our website, KXAN.com, for details about the reward.
Well, security experts have said whoever is building these bombs doesn't appear to be an amateur.
KXAN's Phil Prazen spoke to an expert who studies this type of violence to learn who could be behind the bombs.
Package bombs explode on a monthly basis across the world, but most of them come from political groups in Europe and South America. Less so here. The ATF investigated around 700 explosions in 2016, but only 3 were hand-placed inside boxes.
Usually it's, there's a very specific target, and there's some sort of criminal motivation behind it.
Ben West has spent the last 10 years studying parcel bombs as a security analyst for Stratfor and says Americans have been mostly spared large-scale parcel bombings since the Unabomber. From the mid-70s to the 90s, Ted Kaczynski sent more than a dozen bombs, killing 3 and injuring more than 20. West says package bombs usually target individual people and are built to kill or maim, not to bring down a structure. He says whoever is making them in Austin is not an amateur.
Just because you can make a bomb doesn't mean that you can then place it in a package and then rig it to explode at a specific time. So no, it's certainly not easy to do.
The vast majority of package bombs don't go off as intended, he says, so the fact that each bomb has killed or hurt someone is alarming.
That shows that the person who's doing this, they know what they're doing, and they've probably practiced a lot.
West says the bomb 10 days ago was probably a test run for more to come. Phil Prazen, KXAN News.
Online now, we have an interactive map of all 3 of the explosion locations and a complete timeline. Just go to our website. It's KXAN.com.